Hey everybody, it's time for another opening day game in the 1967 American League replay that I'm partnering with Espo. And these are two more teams that I have chosen to play. And they are the Detroit Tigers and the California Angels. What I've got on the erase board there, the dry erase board, are the benches and bullpens of both teams, so we can see who we have available when it comes time for a relief pitcher or a pinch hitter. Also, I've got the ballpark effects for California's, I guess it was called Anaheim Stadium or Angel Stadium. So we got the ballpark effects there. And we'll get ready for the starting lineups and the first pitch. As soon as I change one other setup, I'll pause the video, come right back, and we'll be ready for the lineups and the first pitch. All right, we're back. We're ready for the first pitch of the ball game after I go through the starting pitchers and the lineups. For the California Angels, lefty George Brunet. I guess it's Brunet. Could be Brunette. I'm assuming it's Brunet. 67 season, he was 11-19 with a 3.31 ERA, but he was the opening day starter for the Angels. And former 30-game winner Denny McLain on the mound for the Tigers. And in 1967, he was 17-16 with a 3.79 ERA. Let's meet the starting lineups first for the visiting Tigers. Against the lefty Brunet, it'll be third baseman Don Wirt to lead things off. Batting second is shortstop Dick Tracewski. Hitting third at first base is Norm Cash. Batting cleanup in right field is Al Kaline. Hitting fifth in center field is Jim Northrup. Batting sixth, the left fielder Gates Brown, and this is another one of those cards I got off of the PC. I have the PC season. I was able to print this off because Strat did not make a Gates Brown card. Willie Horton started the season injured, so Gates Brown played for him in the early part of the season. He's going to be in left field. Bill Freehand is the catcher. He will bat in the seventh position. Dick McAuliffe is second baseman hitting eighth. And batting ninth is Denny McLain. He is using pitcher hitting card number 1. All right, for the California Angels, when it's their turn to bat against McLain, it'll be third baseman Paul Shaw to lead off. Batting second is Jim Fregosi at short. Hitting third in right field is Jimmy Hall. Batting cleanup is the left fielder Rick Reichart. Batting fifth at first base is Don Mincher. Hitting sixth in center field is Jose Cardinal. Batting seventh and catching is Bob Rogers. You may know him better as Buck Rogers, former manager of the Montreal Expos, but he was catching for the Angels in 1967. Playing second base and batting eighth is Bobby Knopp. And batting ninth is George Brunet, and again, he's hitting off pitcher hitting card number 1. So we are just about ready to go. Last piece needed are the dice. That was the one thing I forgot when I was setting everything up, so getting them out of the bag now. We'll get those ready to go. My green D20 this time. I'm playing off the board that came with the game just to change my setup a little bit. Instead of that dice tray all the time, I like to mix it up once in a while. So we're going to be ready to go. Don Wirt facing George Brunet. And we're underway. It's a 1-6. So 1-6 for Wirt against the lefty Brunet is a fly to center. And we are underway. George Brunet just retired Don Wirt. One away for Dick Tracewski, the shortstop. Tracewski. It's a 5-5, so we're under Brunet, and it's off of a right-handed hitter. 5-5 against a righty is a walk. So George Brunet walks the relatively light-hitting Tracewski. He hit 280, but didn't have much power. I guess that's why he's a good number 2 hitter. But he's aboard with a 1-out walk, and that'll bring up some of the power guys. Norm Cash. It is lefty on lefty, though. Oops, I forgot to roll the D20 along with it. And look at that. I did it, and it's a 1. That's a wild pitch check. Brunet is a 4 on the wild pitch rating. It's an 8, so there is going to be no wild pitch. So now I can go back to my normal roll for Norm Cash. And it is a 5-3. So Brunet against the lefty. 5 and a 3 is fly ball left field X. That's Rick Reichart. And for the Angels, Rick Reichart as a left fielder is a 4, E4, so not very good. So there's a good chance here that we may get a base hit as his range is only a 4. It's a 12. He could get to this, but it's going to be iffy. We'll check the outfield defense. A 4 rated and a 12. He does get to it. It's an F1. And now we'll check for an error. It's a 10. There are no errors on 10s in Strat and Super Advanced, so it is a definite good play on a fly to left for out number 2. And Norm Cash is retired. Here's Al Kaline. And that's a 2, so now we got a chance for either a balk or a pass ball. Brunet has a 0 balk rating, but we're going to roll this white die and see if we're doing the balk or the wild pitch. We're going to be, the pass ball. We're checking the pass ball because that's a 6. So the pass ball rating of the California catcher, Bob Rogers, is a 1. So we have to have a 1 on the D20 or it won't be a pass ball. And it's a 16, so there's no action there. We'll just reboot for Al Kaline. And it's a 1-6 for Kaline against a lefty. 1-6 against a lefty. Chance for a home run, 1-8. 9-20 will be a double. That still might score a run. That's an 11, so that's a double. The double is assumed to go to center field. The center fielder for the Angels is Jose Cardinal, and his arm rating is a -1. There are 2 outs, so the runner, Trzeski, would get a +2 boost, but he was being held, so that's a -1. So the arm -1, the being held -1, the +2 for the 2 outs, that's a wash. So we're strictly going to go with the run rating of Dick Trzeski. And Dick Trzeski, his run rating is a 14. So it's a 1-14 chance that he'll be safe on this double. And they're going to go ahead and take it. It's a 16. He's out. So the D20 came up as a 16. And so Trzeski was out on the relay throw. Credit Kaline with a double. But we'll say it's 8-6-2. And Trzeski is out at the plate. The Tigers are turned away from scoring. And Brunet gets out of first inning trouble. So we go to the bottom of the first, no score. Paul Shaw will lead it off against Denny McLain. And we get a 3-7 against a right-hander McLain. 3-7 is a walk. So Paul Shaw draws a leadoff walk. And that'll bring up Jim Fregosi, shortstop, former manager as well. And we get a 4-8. So Denny McLain against a right-handed hitter. 4-8. A 1-3 is a single. Anything else will be a fielder's choice to the first baseman. 1-3 would be a single, though. It's a 17, so it's a fielder's choice. 3-6 on the fielder's choice. Shaw is out for 1 away, and Fregosi will reach on the fielder's choice. That brings up Jimmy Hall, right fielder, against McLain. And it's a 4-4, so McLain against the left-handed hitter on a 4-4. It's a ground ball to third base X. That's Don Wirt. And we'll check the defensive ratings for Don Wirt. And for Wirt, he is a 2E10. All right, it's an 18, so we know he's going to make the play. And it's an 18 there. So an E10 for a third baseman and an 18. Third baseman, E10, and an 18. The 18 on an E10 is a 2-base error. 2-base error. That's an 18 there. It's hard to see on the crease, but it is a 2-base error. So a 2-base error on Don Wirt. And that will move Fregosi to third. And Hall will go to second on the 2-base E5. So runners are at second and third with only 1 out. They're going to play the infield back. It's first inning, so there's no sense taking a chance. Here's Rick Reichart. And that's a 4-8 against the righty Reichart. 4-8. It's a 1-3 for a single. 4-20 be a ground ball to first, and we'll check and see if the run would score. But first things first, it's a 1-3 for a single, and it's a 5. So it's a ground ball to first. And now we need to check the chart. And we'll check our super advanced chart here with the infield back and runners at second and third. Ground ball B is listed as a 5. So we go to 5, and 5 says if hit to second or short, batter out, runners advance 1 base. Otherwise, batter out, runners hold. So it's a ground ball to first, which means the runner had to hold. So no run will score. It's just a simple ground out. Right cart grounds out to first for out number 2. Runners had to hold. And now here's the powerful Don Mincher stepping to the plate, and they're going to give Mincher an intentional pass because first base is open. Pretty good idea. He had 25 home runs and hit 273 on the season. So they're going to play the percentages and go after the right-hander Cardinal. So that's an intentional walk to Mincher. And here's Cardinal with the bases loaded and 2 outs. And we get a 1-4 for Cardinal. 1-4 is a fly ball to right, and that's going to end the inning. So the intentional walk strategy paid off. They leave them loaded. And at the end of 1 from Anaheim Stadium, Angel Stadium, it is no score. All right. Top of the second, and Jim Northrup, lefty on lefty against George Brunet. It's a 3-9, so we're under Northrup's card against a lefty. 3-9. Ground ball to first. Mincher will handle it easily. And the leadoff batter is gone here in the top of the second. That brings up Gates Brown, another lefty-on-lefty matchup, as he replaces the injured Willie Horton. 3-9, so Gates Brown against a lefty. 3-9 is actually going to be a walk. So Gates Brown will draw the walk. And that'll bring up Bill Freehand, the catcher. We get a 3-6 against the lefty. That's a fly ball to center, and it's 2 away. Handled out there by Cardinal. So 2 down. Brings up Dick McAuliffe, another lefty. Another lefty. Dick McAuliffe. We get a 5-8. So Brunet against a left-handed batter. 5-8 is a ground ball to second. That's going to do it. Bobby Knopp makes the play. And the inning is over. So we go to the bottom of the second. We are still no score. Denny McLain back out on the hill. And he'll be facing Buck Rogers to lead things off. It's 2-7 for Rogers against a right-hander. 2-7. A 1 will be a single. Anything else, he's going to line it right to McAuliffe. It's a 13, so it's a liner to McAuliffe for out number 1. That brings up second baseman Bobby Knopp. Bobby Knopp to 6-7. So McLain against the right-hander Knopp, 6-7. Ground ball second base X, so that's going to go right back to McAuliffe again, and we'll check McAuliffe's error ratings and range ratings. McAuliffe is a 327. 3E27. That's a 7, so I think he'll get in front of that, and he will. And that's a 12, and he's an E27. E27, there is no 12, so it's a good play. And there's 2 away. Brings up the pitcher, George Brunet, hitting card number 1, pitcher hitting card number 1. And it's a 2-11, so a 2 and an 11 is a ground ball to second. So McAuliffe was busy over there, took care of all the outs. And the Angels are gone here in the second. We go to the third, still no score. And leading off will be the pitcher, McLain. He's also hitting off a pitcher hitting card number 1. But we're under Brunet's card is a 6-7 against a right-hander. 6-7 is a ground ball second base X. That's Bobby Knopp. And Bobby Knopp is a 1E12. So we know he's going to get in front of it. Don't even need the D20. It's just now we're going to check the E12. And it is a 12. So E12 and a 12. E12 and a 12. There's 12 there, but no 12 there. So Knopp makes the play. And McLain is out of there. There's 1 away. And for some strange reason, I don't know why in my head I'm doing this, but every time I say the name McLain, I'm thinking of Die Hard. I watched those movies so many times, the name McLain just brings that into my memory. So I'll try to get it out of my memory if possible. 111 for Don Wirt against the lefty. 111 is a ground ball to third, and that's handled over there at third base by Paul Shaw. It's a 5-3 ground out for out number 2. And that brings up Dick Tracewski. Tracewski, a 2-8 against the lefty. 2-8 against the left-hander is a strikeout. So Dick Tracewski is out of there. And so are the Tigers in the top of the third. Nothing across. We go to the bottom of the third. Paul Shaw leads things off against Mr. McLean. It's a 5-8. So McLean against a right-hander, 5-8. Fly ball to center, handled out there by the center fielder Northrup for out number 1. Brings up Jim Fregosi. And keep people off the bases. You almost don't need the D20. All right, it's a 6-5 for McLean against the right-hander Fregosi. 6-5 is a ground ball to shortstop X. So as soon as I say that, we need the D20. Tracewski, as a shortstop, is a 3 E29. And a 5. 3 and a 5, I think you'll still get to it. 3 and a 5, he will. It's a 6. A 6 on the error check. And Tracewski's an E29 as a shortstop. So E29, looking for a 6. We don't see one. Don't see a 6. So that's a good play for Tracewski. And one shortstop retires the other. 2 up, 2 down for Al Kaline. Al Kaline. It's a 2-6 for Kaline against a righty. 2-6 is a ground ball to third. Wirt handles it no problem. I'm sorry, Shaw handles it no problem. And the inning is over. Check that. That was my bad. That was my bad. It should have been Fregosi. I mean, it should have been Jimmy Hall, rather. So it's a 2-6 for Jimmy Hall, and that's a walk. So let me get that corrected. Somehow I got my lineups mixed up, and I don't know why. So Jimmy Hall draws the walk off McLean. And now that'll bring up Reichart. So we get a 2-9 for Reichart against a right-hander McLean. That's a strikeout, and that's going to end the inning. I think I was thinking about that McLean name or something. I don't know. But anyway, the Angels are out of there. And after 3 complete, we are scoreless. And Norm Cash will be leading things off. He flew to left his first time up. It's lefty-on-lefty matchup against George Brunet. Or Brunette. I'm assuming it's Brunet. 5-6 against a left-handed batter. 5-6 is a fly to right. Handled out there by the right fielder Jimmy Hall. And there's one away. And that'll bring up Al Kaline, who I had mysteriously batting last half inning for some strange reason against his own pitcher, which is pretty dumb. So hopefully that's all corrected now. Here's Al Kaline, 4-9. 4-9 for Brunet against a righty. 4-9. A 1-12 is a double. Anything else, and it'll be a fly to left. And it's a 20, so it's a fly to left, handled out there by Reichart. And 2 up, 2 down go the Tigers. That'll bring up Jim Northrup, another lefty-on-lefty matchup against Brunet. And that's a 2-8 for Northrup against the lefty. 2-8 is going to be a single for Jim Northrup. So it's a 2-out single. And that brings up another lefty, Gates Brown. So Gates Brown gets a chance with the runner on, see what he can do. He walked his first time up. It's a 2-7 for Gates Brown against the lefty. 2-7 is a ground ball to second base, and that's going to end the inning as Knopp makes the play. And the Tigers are gone in the top of the fourth. We go to the bottom of the fourth. It's still no score, and Don Mincher will be leading things off against McLean. It's a 4-6. So McLean, a 4-6 against the lefty batter is a walk. So Mincher, leadoff walk. You know how those leadoff walks can come back to bite you. And the Angels looking to see if they can take advantage. It's going to be Jose Cardinal. And it's a 2, so we got a chance for either a balk or a pass ball. McLean has a 0 balk rating, but we'll check and see if there's a pass ball check. And there is, because it's a 4. freehand pass ball rating is a 6. So we're going to check. If it's a 1 through 6, we got a pass ball. It's a 4, so it's a pass ball on Bill Freehand. So freehand pass ball moves the runner up, and we'll roll again for the at-bat of Cardinal. This time Mincher is at second. And we get a 5-6 against the right-hander Cardinal. 5-6 for McLean is a fly to right. And there's one away. That'll bring up the catcher, Buck Rogers. We get a 2. That's another check for a possible pass ball, because he can't have a balk because he has no balk rating. That's a 6, though, so we're checking the pass ball rating again. It's a 4 for freehand, 1 to 4. And freehand has done it again. That's 2 pass balls in the same inning. 2 pass balls on freehand. He's gotten the raw end of the deal on the D20. And we'll see if Rogers can bring home the run from third. There is 1 out. The infield's in. Infield is in. It's a 6-5 against the switch-hitting Rogers batting left. 6-5 is a ground ball shortstop X. That's going to be Trzeski. And Dick Trzeski, his defensive rating is a 3 E29. So a 3 E29. And it's a 5, so I think he will get in front of it. We shall see. A 3 and a 5 is a G3. But with a little asterisk there, I believe, with the infield in, that means that's going to get through for a hit. Let's see what we got here. I do believe, yep, it says if symbol is followed by a pound sign, then the following 2 situations use a symbol SI2 in place of the symbol that is for the out. So the infield's playing in, so that's going to get through for a hit. And now let's check the rest of the situation. It's a 16. So we're checking Trzeski's error possibility. And he's an E29 and a 16. So an E29, there is no 16, but it will be a base hit. And that's going to score Mincher and break up the shutout as Buck Rogers snuck one past Trzeski for an RBI single. Angels lead 1-0. Runner at first, 1 out for Bobby Knopp. Knopp, a 1-5 against the righty, is a single with 2 stars. So that's a base hit for Knopp. That will move Rogers to third. Runners are at the corners, 1 out. And those pass balls seem to have rattled McLean a little bit. Not wanting to throw pitches in the dirt anymore because he's afraid they're not going to be able to field them. All right, here's George Brunet, the pitcher. He's looking to bunt. He's going to end up they're going to sacrifice the runner from second to third. They're not doing any. The guy on third is going to hold. So it's going to be a sac bunt with just the runner trying to move to first. And it's a 10. So we go to our super advanced bunt chart. Brunet's bunt rating is a B. So it's a B bunt rating and it's a 10. That means it's a pop-up. So it says pop there. So pop-up says batter pops out, runners hold their bases. So unsuccessful, he's going to pop it right up to the catcher. Freehand for out number 2. Runners had to hold. Runners are still at the corners. We're back to the top of the order for Paul Shaw. See if they can add any more to their lead. And it's a 6-9. So McLean against a righty, 6-9. Ooh, and they're going to do it. 1-7 is a triple. 8-20 is a double. So either way, at least 1 run is going to score, if not 2. It's a 12, so it's a double. But that doesn't mean the second run couldn't score because that went to center field. And there are 2 outs, so the runner would get a boost. Bobby Knopp was being held. His speed's a 13. He was being held, makes him a 12. Get +2 for the being 2 outs, makes it 14. And then we have to subtract Northrup's arm, or add Northrup's arm, depending on what it is, to that total. Northrup throws at a -1. So we get a -1 for being held, -1 for the arm, and a +2 for 2 outs. They wash And so now it looks like Bobby Knoop has a 1-13 chance of coming in, and they're going to take that chance. And he's in. He's in there with a 3, so it's a 2-run double for Paul Shaw as they were aggressive on the base paths, scoring Knoop all the way from first. And, of course, Rogers scored from third easily. And the Angels now have a 3-0 lead as they've jumped on McLean for 3 runs here in the 4th. And that'll bring up Jim Fregosi with a runner at second and 2 outs. That's a 5-12. So a 5-12 against the right-hander. Ground ball first base X, that's Norm Cash. And Norm Cash, his defensive rating, he is a 2E9. 2E9. It's 15, so we'll get in front of it. And that's a 10, and there are no errors on 10s, so we know he makes the play. And that's going to end the inning. But the Tigers get a little rattled on those pass balls, and the Angels take advantage, score 3 runs. We've played 4 complete. The score is California 3 and Detroit 0. And Bill Freehand, the man who had those 2 pass balls, is going to lead things off against Brunet as the Tigers try to make a comeback. It's a 6-8 against Brunet, against the right-hander. 6-8 is a ground ball to third. It's going to be handled out there by Paul Shaw. 1 away. That'll bring up the second baseman, McAuliffe. McLean is next, but if the bases are empty, they'll probably go ahead and let him pitch. 6-7 against the lefty. Brunet, lefty on lefty, 6-7. Ground ball second base X, that's Bobby Knoop. And Bobby Knoop, his defensive rating is a 1E12, so we know he's going to get in front of it. It's just a matter of whether he fields it or not. That's an 8. So we'll check the E12. Second baseman E12, and we'll check for an 8. E12, there is no 8, so Knoop makes the play. 2 up, 2 down, so we're going to go ahead and let McLean bat for himself. It's a 3-7, so we are on the pitcher's card, or the batter's card, the pitcher hitting card. 3-7. 3-7 is a ground ball to second, and that's handled over there by Knoop. The inning is over. Angels take care of the Tigers quietly in the 5th. Go to the bottom of the 5th, it is still 3-0. And McLean out there again, facing Jimmy Hall to lead things off. Jimmy Hall reached on an error and walked. And that's a 1-2 against a right-hander. That's a line-out max, but nobody's on base, so it's just simply going to be a line-out to the second baseman, McAuliffe. And there's 1 away. Brings up Rick Reichart. It's a 4-7. 4-7 for Reichart. 4-7 is a walk, and that's going to put 1 on and nobody out for Don Mincher. Mincher is up, and Mincher he's walked twice. He's intentionally walked once and was regularly walked once. It's a 6-6, and that's McLean against a lefty, 6-6. 6-6 is a fly ball to left field, and that's going to be out number 2. Brings up Jose Cardinal. Jose Cardinal. And we get a 3-5 for Cardinal. 3-5 is a pop out to short. It's handled by Trzaskowski, and the inning is over. So the Angels are gone here in the 5th. We go to the 6th. Still 3-0 in favor of the Angels. And both pitchers' fatigue rating or point of weakness inning begins in inning number 7, so they're good to go for this inning. Here's Don Wirt to lead things off. 1-6 against the lefty Brunet, and that is a fly ball to center field, handled out there by Jose Cardinal. And there's 1 away. 1 down for Dick Trzaskowski. It's a 6-9. Brunet against the right-hander, 6-9. Oh, he found his 1 hit here. It's going to be a single unless we get a 1 on the D20. That would be a triple, but anything else will be a single. And it's a single. So 1 out single for Trzaskowski. He's got his first hit of the ball game. And that will bring up the dangerous Norm Cash. Cash and K-Line coming up back to back. We get a 4-6 lefty on lefty matchup. 4-6 is a strikeout. So Brunei struck out Norm Cash. That's out number 2, but now he's got to deal with K-Line. Righty on lefty matchup against K-Line. And that's a 6-3. So a 6-3 this time against the right-hander. 6-3 is a fly ball right field X. That's Jimmy Hall. And we'll check Jimmy Hall's defensive prowess. And Jimmy Hall is a 3-E3. 3-E3. So if he can get to it, he'll probably field it. That's a 12 and it's a 13 and a 12. 13, he's going to get to it, no problem. So let's check the 12. He's an E3. He's an E3, and 12, he will make the play. So Jimmy Hall makes the play, no problem. K-Line is gone. And so are the Tigers here in the top of the 6th. We go to the bottom of the 6th. It's still 3-0 in favor of the Angels. And leading off will be Buck Rogers. Rogers 1 for 2 with a single and a run scored. It's a 3-7 for Rogers against the right-hander. 3-7 is a ground ball to second base. And that's going to be an easy play for McAuliffe for 1 away. 1 down, and that'll bring up Bobby Knopp. It's a 1-8 for Knopp. 1-8 is a ground ball to Trzeski at short. 2 up, 2 down. Brings up the pitcher Brunei against McLean. And we get a 1-3 off the pitcher card. 1-3 is a ground ball to McAuliffe, and that's going to end the inning. So 3 easy ground outs make for an easy inning for McLean. We played 6 complete here in California, and it's the Angels 3, Tigers nothing. This begins the point of weakness inning for both teams, both pitchers. So Brunei will be looked upon. See if he starts to tire. The bullpen might start to rattle for the Angels. First of all, though, it's Jim Northrup, lefty on lefty, and it's a 5-9. So against the left-hander, 5-9. Ooh, that's bad news. 1-4 is a triple. I'm sorry, 1-6 is a triple. 7-20 is a double. So that's a 13. That's a leadoff double for Jim Northrup. And just like that, the Angel bullpen is starting to loosen down there. And as we looked at the bullpen candidates for the Angels, got some decent ones here. Minnie Rojas is their closer, but you got Pete Semino or Bill Kelso. So we'll see which one we're going to have warming up. I think it's going to be Semino, but I'll just double check it. Check Bill Kelso. Actually, we're going to have Kelso. He had 11 saves. So Bill Kelso is in the Angel bullpen, starting to loosen in case Brunei reaches his point of weakness. So after the leadoff double by Northrup, that brings up Gates Brown. Gates Brown, a 4-5. 4-5 against the lefty. 4-5 is a fly ball left field, and that's 1 away. Brings up the dangerous catcher, Bill Freehan. Freehan, a 6-4. So Brunei against the right-hander. 6-4 is a ground ball shortstop X. That's Fregosi. And Jim Fregosi is a 2E27. A 4, he might make that, is a 2. We'll find out. A 2 and a 4, he does get in front of it. We'll check for an error. It's a 9, and he's an E27. So shortstop E27 and a 9. There is no 9. He does make the play. And that's going to be 2 outs. And let's double check and see if the runner from second went to third based on the result. The first part was a 2 and a 4, which means it was a G3. So we'll check what that says here on G3. And the runner on second, if it's to the right, normal infield, I'm sorry, it's runner advance, so he will go to third. So Northrup does scatter over to third base on that ground out, but now there's 2 outs, and it's up to Dick McAuliffe to get anything done here. McLean's spot is next, so a pinch hitter would be forthcoming if it gets to that. 6-7 for Brunei against the lefty McAuliffe. 6-7's ground ball second base X. That's Knopp again. And Knopp, with his defense, he is a 1, so we don't even need the D20. We know he's going to make the play. It's an E12. So let's see if anything happens on an E12. That's an 8. So we check E12 and an 8. E12, there is no 8, so it's a good play. Knop makes the play, and the inning's over. We got the 7th inning stretch upon us. And Denny McLain, since he's going to lead off the next inning, they'll go ahead and let him try to get out of this inning and then pinch hit for him later. Right now, for the Angels, it's the top of the order, and Paul Shaw against McLain. 3-8 for Shaw. 3-8. A 1-4 is a single. 5-20. And he's going to line it right to Don Wirt at third. And it's a 2, so it's a base hit for Paul Shaw. He's going to lead off with a base hit. And some bullpen action for the Tigers, just in case McLain starts to falter, because he's in this point of weakness inning. And they're going to warm up the left-hander Hank Aguirre. Hank Aguirre, the lefty, is loosening. Paul Shaw's at first. Jim Fregosi, the batter. It's a 5-7 against the righty Fregosi. 5-7 is a strikeout. The dot's there, but he hasn't reached his point of weakness yet, so the strikeout is good to go. And there's one away for Jimmy Hall, right fielder. Jimmy Hall. And we got a 6-6 against the left-hander for McLain. 6-6 is a fly ball to left. Handled out there by Gates Brown, 2 away. And that's up to Rick Reichart to keep the inning going. Rick Reichart, left fielder. It's a 5-4, so McLain against a right-hander. 5-4 is a fly ball center field X, and for Detroit, that's Northrup. And we'll check Northrup's defensive prowess as a center fielder. He's a 3-E10. So a 3-E10 as a center fielder. 17, so we know he's going to get to it. It's a 6. It's a 6 on the error check, so he's an E10. E10. And we're looking for 6. Don't see one, so it is a good play by Northrup to end the inning. So 7 innings in the books, and it's still 3-0 in favor of the Angels. And we're going to be right back with a pinch hitter for Denny McLain. All right, top of the 8th, and a couple of changes to tell you about. Bill Kelso, the right-hander, is going to take over for Brunet here in the top of the 8th. Brunet went 7 innings, gave up 4 hits, no runs, walked 2, struck out 2, stands to be the winner. And the pinch hitter for the pitcher McLain is going to be Mickey Stanley. And we close the book on McLain. He went 7 innings, 4 hits, 3 runs, all earned. Walked 4. One of them was intentional, so only 3 unintentional walks. And he struck out 2. And he's set to be the loser unless his team rallies. So here's Mickey Stanley facing against Bill Kelso. Stanley trying to do things right, but don't know if it's going to happen. Against Kelso, it's 2-6 for Stanley. 2-6 is a pop out to short. So Mickey Stanley fails in his pinch hitting role. There's one away. Back to the top of the order, and Don Wirt. Wirt, a 1-7. 1-7 against the righty is a ground ball to third, and that's 2 away as Paul Shaw takes care of that. Brings up Dick Trzeski. And that's a 6-4 off of Kelso's card against a right-hander. 6-4 is a ground ball shortstop X, so that's a chance for Fregosi. And Jim Fregosi, his defensive rating again is a 2E27. As a 3, that might get by him. A 3, and he is a 2. 2, actually he is going to make the play. A 2 and a 3. It is a ground ball out. He did get in front of it. It's a 6. So we're going to check an E27 at shortstop and see if there's a 6 out there somewhere. And I don't see it, so that's a good play for Fregosi. And the Tigers are gone 1, 2, 3 here in the 8th. They don't have much of a roar today. They've been pretty well held in check. Go to the bottom of the 8th, and new Tiger pitcher is lefty Hank Aguirre. He's in relief of McLain. And he's going to be starting out facing left-hander Don Mincher. So they wanted that lefty-on-lefty matchup to start the inning. It's a 1-11 for Mincher against the lefty. And that's a ground ball back to the pitcher. Had he been facing a right-hander, he'd have a potential home run ballpark check. So good thing they went with the lefty there. It's an easy ground out to the pitcher, and Aguirre gets one away for Jose Cardinal. Cardinal a 111 again against the lefty. This time's a ground ball to third, and it's handled by Don Wirt, 2 down. Brings up Buck Rogers, and Manny Rojas is in the bullpen in case Kelso struggles in the ninth. If not, they'll let Kelso try to get the save. 5-7 against a switch-hitting right-hander in Buck Rogers. 5-7's a strikeout. So Aguirre pitches a 1-2-3 8th inning. We go to the ninth. 3-0 ball game. And last chance for the Tigers. It'll be Cash, K-Line, and Northrup, the heart of the order. And so actually they're not even going to mess around with Kelso. They're going to go ahead and bring in Manny Rojas, their closer, with that hard-hitting lineup in there. Manny Rojas on the 67 season did have 27 saves. So they're not going to mess around. They're going to let Kelso be the setup guy. And now Manny Rojas is in. And for Kelso, he pitched his 1 inning in the 8th and took out the Tigers 1-2-3, so nothing on the board for him. Manny Rojas in now to try to close it down. He'll be facing Norm Cash. Tigers need 3 to send this to potential extra innings. It's a 2-8 for Cash against a right-hander. That's a strikeout. So Norm Cash, Manny Rojas whipped up the strikeout, and Cash is gone. Cash was not money on that play. That'll bring up Al Kaline. It's a 5-3 for Manny Rojas against a right-hander. 5-3. It's a ground ball pitcher X, and he is an E0, and he's a 2 and an E0. So we'll roll for the 2 part. We know he doesn't make any errors, but we'll roll for the 2 part. That's a 7, so I'm pretty sure he's going to make that play as a pitcher. Let's double check it. I don't get many pitcher X chances, so we'll check it out. He's a 2 and it was a 7. So yep, he made the play. So easy ground out there for 2 away. And now last chance for the Tigers is Jim Northrup. He does have 2 hits. He's 2 for 3. He doubled his last time up. It's a 1-4 for Northrup. 1-4 against the right-hander is a fly to left, and that's the ball game. Jim Northrup flies out to Reichart, and the Angels have shut out the Tigers here on opening day by the final score of 3-0. They won the actual game 2-4, 4-2, I should say. But in this game, it was a simple 3-0 ball game, and the winning pitcher is George Brunet. The losing pitcher, although he pitched well, is Denny McLean. And Manny Rojas gets his first save of the season as he put down the Tigers in the 9th with no problems. So if we do the totals for both teams, final line score, the Angels 3 runs on 4 hits, no errors. Tigers no runs, 4 hits, and no errors. So only 4 hits apiece for the 2 ball clubs. There was a couple of walks mixed in, but really not much offense to speak of. All 3 runs came in that 4th inning. Big blow being the double by Paul Shaw that drove in 2 runs after 2 pass balls had already brought in another run. So there you have it. Second game of opening day is complete with the California Angels defeating the Detroit Tigers. So both home teams won their ball games. They held serve, and we'll see what happens in future outings. But on opening day, at least, the home teams reign supreme as the California Angels defeat the Detroit Tigers by the final score of 3-0. Winning pitcher George Brunet, losing pitcher Denny McLean, saved Manny Rojas. So that's going to do it from here. Hope everybody has a wonderful time playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it. And as usual, I will see you sometime down the road.